So before I start, actually I already started the live. I got my equipment lined up, ready to go. By equipment, I mean like my lights, my sound bowl. I got everything going in here. I have a bunch of different oils. I use the Young Living oils for my Reiki sessions. So I've got um, one of them is release. I've got my grounding mat underneath my butt right now because I'm sitting on it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about money. And you're like, what would money have to do with trauma? Actually, for certain people like myself, money has a very negative association because of trauma that I had as a child. So, what I do is I'm going to first let you know that this live will be a little bit long. Second, I'm going to let you know that this is an actual session of like what I've been doing on myself to help myself, in addition to mindset training, aka hypnosis. So I'm going to start with release. So I'm going to smell release, and I'm going to be thankful with gratitude that my mind and body have become aware of the problem that I need to release. I am aware of the attachment to needing money, and I'm also aware of the aversion to money. The aversion meaning, get the money away from me. So I've smelled them, but now I'm going to put them on my feet. And so release usually does involve crying. I'm just saying, because crying to me, and it's a healthy way of looking at it, crying is the way your body washes the soul. It's a way the spirit gets to release what it no longer serves. And crying is a great way to do that. So when people say boys don't cry, that's why the boys go out and kill people. I'm just saying, have you ever noticed that the mass murderers, the people that have gone and done stuff, are mostly men? Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever wondered why that is? It's because it's the societal conditioning that men should not cry. And then we wonder why men have that problem, ladies. We've got to forgive because we didn't know what we didn't know. So I'm putting forgiveness. I'm putting all these oils on. So I forgive that which I didn't know, for why I have that aversion of get money away from me. Because we all have it. That's why we don't have it. We all have that aversion. We all have that get money away from me. Like, for example, the get money away from me. A classic example of this is only the rich people get rich. Well, all the rich people, all those millionaires and billionaires, they had it gave to them. Actually, if you are smart and you study, those millionaires and billionaires like I have, did you know that 0.01% of them actually got it inherited? Just saying, most of them, almost all of them actually got it from working. They did things different than everybody else did. So I'm going to take this acceptance of myself, place it on my feet. Again, I'm smelling it because olfactory, which is our sense of smell, is the strongest link to our subconscious mind outside of writing it down. Put all those oils on, like I said. And then I'm going to allow my inner child to get that healing, because my inner child, and we all have an inner child, by the way. The inner child always comes out when you're mad or when you're feeling an emotion that you're no longer acting like an adult would act, or a healed adult would act. So like a person that is dealing with, let's say they're dealing with a teenager that has problems listening, and they can't figure out why their teenager doesn't want to listen to them. And they're just screaming at the top of their lungs, and they're an adult yelling at their teenage child about a problem that they're having And it's not even related to the child, but it comes out of the subconscious mind, this pattern behavior from the adult. The adult with the pattern behavior starts screaming at their child, and they're like, it was all their fault. Okay, how old is that adult at the time? They're not an adult. They're reacting from a childhood memory that is the reason why they're acting the way that they are. So one of the things, like I said, I put it all on my feet. I only did the one side, which is fine because I did the other side earlier. I've got my grounding mat on. And what I'm going to show you, in addition to putting the oils on, is, like how people pop pills. They take medication. That's what I call the pop pills. So trauma, the body bears the burden. This has to do with trauma, dissociation. Dissociation. That's PTSD, is it not? And disease. So the body bears the burden. Okay? So like, why does my neck still ache so much? The accident was months ago. The doctors think that I'm crazy, lazy, or faking it. What's wrong with me? Fibromyalgia, good example. Okay? The body bears the burden. So this has to do with mental health and psychology, social work, human services, and psychotherapy. Okay? So it explains the mind and the body, they work together. Because psychology and the doctors popping pills, giving out the pills like a candy dispenser, they don't understand how the mind body works together. They use other terms like, mindfulness, because that's what average people know that it's called. As average is the mediocrity, is what I should say, because most people don't know what mediocre means. It means average. But anyways, most people are mediocre in their lives, so they don't understand that your body bears the burden of trauma, hurts, habits that you have. So feelings buried alive never die. Let's go to a popular one. Arthritis is very popular. Oh, anxiety. Well, here's why a person can have anxiety problems, why it goes disarray, why you go pop that Xanax. I used to be one of those people, hence why I say it the way I say it. Anxiety, feels unable to call the shots in life, feels boxed in, feels helpless to affect a change. That's just anxiety. Let's go with the one I had said, which was arthritis, ABCD. Gotta go backwards. Sometimes you gotta go backwards in life just to go forwards again, I swear. Arthritis. So a lot of people have arthritis. The old people have arthritis, but I'm going to tell you right now, even in your 20s, you start with arthritis. The difference is some people feel it, some people don't. Why is that? Well, if you've ever experienced trauma, if you've ever experienced any kind of hurt, what did you grow up with? Did you grow up with parents who are like, oh, my back hurts? Well, you're going to start feeling those things. And the doctor says you got arthritis. My God, everybody has arthritis. It's called normal wear and tear on your body. Your vehicle, does it get rust? Your vehicle that gets rust is equivalent to arthritis in your body. Everybody has it, but not everybody feels it, because not everybody has exact same growing up history that you do. Even in a household of the same 5 people, the children, all 5 children, different personalities, different things of what they remember, because we are all unique. Didn't know if you knew that, but your life experiences are not the same as mine. So arthritis, severely criticizing self or others. These are, if you've ever had these problems, this is why you would start to experience arthritis. Severely criticizing self or others. Severely criticizing self. Have you ever said, I'm not good enough? I can't do that? Well, they can do it, but I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. That's criticizing yourself. Holding on to feelings of hostility. I'm angry because all the rich people have money and I don't. The rich people are just greedy. How many times you've heard that? Okay? Holding on to own opinions and beliefs. I'm going to die on the fact that Biden is a good president. I'm going to die on the fact that we've got Trump that was causing all our problems. I get both sides because that's an opinion. And that opinion is a belief. Nothing more, nothing less. Long-term tension of anger in life. I'm so tense because I don't have the money. I can't get the money. I don't know how to get the money. I gotta have the money. I need the money. Or I just don't get it. I'm so angry because the rich people have money and I don't. This is why you have arthritis. I'm giving you both examples of what I've heard. Feelings of anxiety. I can't control this. I can't control it. I'm having a panic attack now because what if this happens? What if that happens? What if you actually improve your life and things get better and then you no longer have anxiety? What happens if you no longer have arthritis? My God, if I no longer have arthritis, who's going to take care of me? If I no longer have anxiety, that means I won't need my pills anymore. Then who's going to help me? Because then I'll have to fend for myself. And if I no longer have anxiety, then there would nothing be wrong with me. Then I can't blame my anxiety as a reason why I don't want to go to that party later. That's called secondary gain, by the way, FYI. Feelings or depression endured over long periods of time. Well, I feel depressed, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Okay, we know things now. It's not neurotransmitter that's got the problem. It's your situation in life. It's these other things that we believe that's causing our problems. Belief that it's wrong to get angry. That's another reason why we get arthritis. These are just arthritis, by the way. Belief that it's wrong to get angry. Oh, didn't I just start this out with men being that it's not okay to cry, but those are the ones that go out and kill everybody? Are the men who weren't allowed to express their feelings? Because men have feelings too. I think as women, we forget that men have feelings. Men are to cry. If men don't cry, how are they supposed to wash their soul? Not with the fish when they go fishing. But holding on to that belief that it's wrong to get angry creates repressed anger that eats you up. No wonder. Isn't the prostate gland in the butt of a man? Last time I checked, maybe that's what's eating them up. Just saying. Maybe it's not. I'm just saying. The need to be right. Well, I'm right. You're wrong. Okay. The rigid in thinking and feelings. Nope, it's always been this way. It has to be done this way. That explains a lot of people in Watertown. We've always done it this way. We will never deviate from this. Okay. Uncompromising attitude. Nope. We're always going to fire the Gen Z. We're never going to talk to the Gen Z because they don't know how to do what we do. And inflexibility. We're not going to change. We don't want to change. That's the reason why we get arthritis. I just gave you a bunch of them. That's why we have arthritis. There's a whole bunch of them, like I said. And I'm not making fun of anybody who has these problems. I'm just clearly stating like where a lot of these problems come from. So like this is called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. This is the deck that explains where a lot of these come from. Because again, your doctors do not, and your psychologists, therapists out there, do not study the mind and body connection. You can be brain dead and your body still functions. Okay, we know this. But we also know that anything in your stomach, your gut health, determines 100% how the rest of your body functions. We know that. We also know that trauma is stored in the stomach, which is also this bowl, by the way. We also know that if you've ever heard of Louise Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life, she talks about the mind-body experience. She talks about like ulcers are no more than fear. They're tremendous fear of not being good enough. That's what an ulcer is, okay? We fear not being good enough for a parent. We fear not being good enough for a boss. We can't stomach who we are. And I just said that's where the stomach is held, okay? That's an example. And then this is expanded version of the reference deck, the Feelings Buried Alive Never Die book, okay? So our feelings are everything. Our feelings, when you're in a trauma, so say for example, you were raped like I was, okay? So when I had that experience, was I talking about, oh, this is what was happening at that moment? Was I talking about it No, I was fighting that person off. Or like in my case too, not only did I fight, but I also gave up on fighting when the pillow was over my face, when I was suffocating. And what do I remember? What was going on in my mind at that time? There was a person on top of my body, so I'm going to feel pressure. There's going to be sounds, there's going to be smells, there's going to be different things that I'm going to remember that traditionally talking about that will never be able to release that trauma because the body remembers it. Again, the body bears the burden. It always will. So how do you get rid of that? Well, I just showed you one way as I use essential oils because I want to release this trauma. The body holds on to these through the fighting motions. I remember I was fighting and I remember I just couldn't fight anymore because men are stronger. Thank God they are. And, at that time it wasn't in my best interest. But you know what? I'm glad that men are stronger because I need them to be stronger so they can lift things that I can't lift when I've been moving one office to the next. Okay? So when I had that experience, I'm going to remember my heart was racing. My body and my mind know exactly what to do when I think about that trauma, when I talk about that trauma. My mind and body knows exactly what to do to get back into that state, which state is that emotion, that memory of where I was at. All of the senses in the body get activated, and then you immediately remember what was going on at that exact time, what was happening. You feel the pressure, you feel the sights, sounds, tastes, touch, smells all around you at that moment. And then what happens is that some people have a panic attack. And I used to have them, by the way. Like I said, I'm not making fun of anybody other than myself because I used to have these problems because I remember having that shot of Ativan in the ER. I remember making myself so dehydrated that the doctors couldn't figure out why I was dehydrating myself after things had happened. And the reason why I talk about this as being funny is because now that I know what I know, would I ever go back to the traditional, we're talking about it? No, because at a talking level, that's only conscious. That does never going to get to that root cause, like I said. So one of the other books is The Emotion Code. So like I said, we know that you have to release those trapped emotions. Well, you can't release them through talking. You have to release them through things like essential oils. You have to release them through accepting what happened. There's good that comes from it. Like I realized, like one good thing that came from it is that, let's see, what would be a good thing of that is that I realized that even though I could not fight him off with being suffocated, I realized that there's other women out there who are dealing with the exact same trauma. So that when we were forced to be muzzled, thank God I live in South Dakota, but when we were forced to be muzzled, for people who don't remember the muzzling stage, when we had that, I was able to say, you know what, you guys completely forgot about people like myself who have experienced that severe trauma of fighting for their life. Because most people weren't willing to say anything. They just got mad, they just got angry. They didn't know what was going on. They could feel it, but they didn't know because they're not aware of it. And until you're aware of the problem and what's causing that problem, you're just going to stay stuck in that state. So, how this relates to money, because I hadn't said it was about money, it has everything to do with it, okay? So, if I had, say, for example, this has not to do with this one, it's a different memory for me. But say, for example, that memory that I'm talking about, say, for example, that memory I had just went to the bank and that it just had happened, okay? So I was just at the bank, I was just depositing money, and this rape had happened right afterwards. So my brain, because we generalize, distort, and delete memories, what my brain would do is say, okay, when I went to the bank, this is what happened. The next time I go to the bank, I have to be careful. So what am I going to do to be careful the next time I'm at the bank? The next time I'm at the bank, I'm going to make sure that I don't have what the clothes I was wearing, I don't have those on. I'm going to make sure that I stay in my vehicle. I lock the doors. I make sure that there's nobody else around me. I'm going to make sure that I don't have anyone, like maybe I need to take somebody with me, or maybe I need to take a Xanax before I go. Maybe I need to do this or do that before I go to the bank. Then I'll be okay. Then it won't happen again. So then your body starts protecting yourself. One of the ways the body protects yourself from trauma, which is never looked at by people doing weight loss, by the way, they never look at the fact that the reason why we put on the poundage, why do we put all this wiggly jigglies on? Nobody ever looks at this fact. When we have suffered a miscarriage, when we've lost a baby, when we wish we could get pregnant again, when we've gone through trauma, the body has to protect it somehow. We're women, so women, we're automatically, whether you've ever been pregnant or not, your body automatically knows right where to slap that weight for a baby. So it slaps it right here, automatically, out of protection for human life, because biologically we are wired to have babies, are we not? So that's why we hold on to the weight right here. And then if you've ever had a miscarriage, like I said, as much as it sucks to have a miscarriage, if that's the only baby you've ever had, or if you enjoyed being pregnant and you're sitting out 3-4 years down the road and you still haven't lost that baby weight from that last baby, the reason why you're still holding on to that is because you missed that child. You miss being pregnant. So you're going to hold on to it. That's why you can't lose that weight right there. And then also, we also talk about weight loss. Horribly wrong. But when you lose your keys, what's the first thing you got to go do when you lose your keys? I didn't have to say it. You already said it. You got to go find your keys. Did you not say that you have to go find your keys? Yeah. Your mind has no concept of reality. So when you say you have to, that you've lost weight, your mind, just like the keys, I got to go find my keys. Yeah. And that's why you find another 30 pounds after you've lost weight, because whatever weight you lost, I lost 30 pounds. That's great. You just added and told your brain to go find those 30 pounds you just lost, because you don't know how to look at it differently like I do. So that's where the weight programs also fail. They don't deal with those issues. So what does all this have to do with money? Okay, so there's the aversion to money. Get it away from me. Rich people are evil. Only the rich get rich. Money doesn't grow on trees. The list goes on, does it not? Okay. So we've got all these aversions to money. Like, you got to work hard. I'm going to push it away from you. I'm going to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing it away. Well, then if you've got trauma, like I said, for the bank, well, okay, this happened when I was at the bank, for example. Like I said, that didn't happen in the bank, but I'm just giving you an example. So I'm going to push that away. So in pushing that money away, when I'm trying to create money, subconsciously, the part that you cannot see, that traditional talk therapy does not get to the root of, they don't deal with that. What happens is I'm going to be pushing that away so much, and then I can't figure out why I'm not making things work. Why aren't things working for me? Like why can't I do something? So on the outside, to the untrained eye, it looks like you're procrastinating. It looks like you're self-sabotaging yourself. It looks like you have a fear of success, like you got a fear of failure. It looks like a lot of different things. But that's the issues that are not being addressed. And that's why when we've got these problems, I'm like, this is like reasons why we got these problems, is because when you're not getting to those root issues, the body's got to store it somewhere. And I just got done saying feelings buried alive never die. So let's look up obesity as one of them. Like I said, if you've ever had a miscarriage, your baby, the only way to deal with that is doing different things, like I said, for it. And I have an empty cradle method that I need to put it out to the world, but I haven't done it because it is difficult to deal with. So obesity, using food as a substitute for affection. Lord knows every time I'm wanting sweets, I want Jeffrey. Obesity, again, inability to admit to self or others what you really desire. Okay. inability to express true feelings, seeking love, protecting the body. I just gave you that example for sexual abuse. Why heavy? Okay, I just gave that example. Trying to fulfill the self. And see, even when I said inability to admit what you really want or what you really desire, or you stuff your feelings, I'll tell you right now, I have yet to hear any woman who has had babies that have been so unbelievably thrilled. I have yet to hear a woman, like I said, that has been absolutely over the moon, thrilled to death. Oh my God, so feeling so full of fantastic that she can't have children anymore. I have yet to hear that woman. I have yet to hear the woman that said, "Oh, I'm so thankful to God I can't have any more kids. Oh my God, getting an abortion was the best damn thing ever. Oh my God, I tell you right, getting my tubes tied was the best damn thing ever. And my husband getting that vasectomy was the best thing ever." Because you will never hear that come out of another person. Simply because they really didn't feel that way in that moment when those events took place. They did it out of fear. They did it out of guilt, out of shame when they stopped those processes, which is why they're never going to say, "Oh, this is a good thing. I'm so happy." No, 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 no. Again, I'm just trying to make light of everything because it is tough subjects that nobody really talks about. So like even in my book for like the release technique, okay, so aversion to money. So what do I like about money? Well, I feel safe when I have money. Okay. So safety does make sense, because, well, money, I feel safe. So what can I do with money? Well, if I had money, I could pay all of my bills on time every single time. So that's an attachment to money, why I would need to have the money. And so I can get my bills paid, so I can support my family, so I can get Miracle Home, always have my needs met in life, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release on those. And I know they're for safety for me already. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to show you how to do this, is you're going to put your chin to chest. You're going to locate where that emotion of safety is coming from. It's always going to be the stomach, the chest, or the head. Just saying. So most of those emotions, if you're doing it right, are going to be stored in the chest or the stomach. So then in my case, like I said, I use the essential oil. So I'm going to release the safety. Because all human needs come down to three things. Every last one of them, you can't tell me any different because you stop and think about it. It's all three basic human needs. Safety, approval, or control. Every last one of them. Think about your vehicle. Did you get that for safety, approval, or control? One of the three. Or some people, all three, or some people, just two of them. Like my van out front, it's not safe at all whatsoever. So do I want it? Hell no. But I got it. A damn thing I can do about it. When my husband totaled out the one that was safe because it had side airbags. This one just got one airbag in it. So I must want imperturbability. Again, chin to chest. I must want imperturbability more than I want approval, want control, and want safety. Yes. I decide to release and be imperturbable. Yes. So is this feeling, or is this wanting approval, wanting safety, or wanting control? And this, again, I was releasing on for the money, the attachment to support my family. Okay? To support my family, that is wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety. That's wanting safety. Could I let go of wanting safety so I can have safety? Yes. And could I let go of wanting safety to have safety? Yes. And I should tell you right now that the mind is a recording device. So when I'm putting my chin to chest, what that is it literally cuts off the recording that has been stored in our brain, the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, whatever you want to call your brain, which, by the way, we have never seen our mind, by the way. We've only seen a brain. We've never seen a mind. But anyways, this records, this deletes all of that. playback in our minds. If you play back everything you know about a rich person, how they're greedy, how they're evil, how they take money from other people, how they use other people. Money isn't grown on a tree. You have to work hard for your money. You have to steal to be able to get money. Only the rich people create whatever, The list goes on again, like I said. So you're going to put your head chin to chest to stop that recording, that playback. And then you're going to find where those emotions are located in the chest or the stomach. Okay? So, could I let go of this wanting safety to have safety? Yes. Which feels better, having safety or wanting safety? Having safety. And could I let go of wanting safety so I can have safety? Yes. Does it feel like I have safety or want safety? Like I have safety. And could I let go of this feeling to see if it gets even better? Yes. And more? Yes. So now these essential oils are starting to kick in, especially the one I put around my belly button, which was release and forgiveness around my belly button. The reason why I put those two on my belly button is because that's another area where all of your senses are there, all of your nerve endings are there in your belly button for obvious reasons, because if you don't remember you're connected to your mother through the umbilical cord, and the umbilical cord is what got snipped when they took you away from the mom out of the body. When you got out of your mom, they cut that umbilical cord. So if anybody forgets, you were connected to a woman at one point inside your belly, and they either pushed you out or they cut you out. Just saying, all my kids got cut out. C-section. Beauty of it. If you ever go look up C-section, I am so thankful to God that there are a lot of people, even though they lost their lives, I am so thankful to God that because there were people willing to do what was necessary to get those babies out, I'm so thankful that now they have a method that works, that is more safer than what it used to be when it was first brought to the world, okay? So I'm very thankful for that. Just like I'm very thankful to God for the man who created or had the RH factor, because I'm RH positive or negative, whatever. I'm whatever negative blood type that needs the shot when I need RhoGAM when I have babies. That's what I was trying to say. So thank God for that man. So there's more to this step, obviously, but what I was doing was showing you like an example of what it is that I do. And the reason why this is so important is because, like I said, the psychologists don't do this. They don't study this stuff. They don't do these things. They call them like strongholds. That's what Joyce Meyer calls the beliefs that we carry. They call them limitations. We call them beliefs. We call them habits. We call them all these different things for the exact same word. Just like I said for hypnosis, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to do hypnosis. Stay away from me. I literally had this happen. Okay? You got it all wrong. Hypnosis, another term, is called mindset, peak performance, guided imagery, visualization techniques, visualization, meditation. That's all saying hypnosis. But the average person doesn't know that. Again, I gotta put you saying average because mediocre, yes. Because that's a better term, because most people don't even know what mediocre means. So this is the root chakra. And that's going to be from the pelvis on down. And with the pelvis, that if you ever have low back pain, that can indicate that you have a money problem or a sexual guilt, sexual frustration. That's what gets stored in the body. Again, feelings buried alive never die. But we call them back problems. We call them back pain. Did you know that surgery? You ever talk to retired doctors? You have to talk to the retired ones. You ever talk to a doctor? They never got into medicine because they wanted to take care of sick people. They got into medicine because they wanted to help people. That's the wrong field. Medicine is not the helping field. It's a pop a pill, take another drug, take another side effect for another side effect, because I used to be that person. And I'm not doing that again. So then we go to the sacral, which is your creativity. Because when you have a history of abuse, it's going to affect your creativity, it's going to affect your finances, it affects a lot of different things. Then we go to the solar plexus, which is the yellow one here. It's your stomach area. Then we've got the heart, which is green. Which, if you ever have Reiki done, and you're pregnant, I've done this several times, so I know. Children are pure love. That's why you only see green when a woman is pregnant. Okay? And then we go into blue, which is the throat. There's a lot of women that have thyroid problems. I could look that book up too. Thyroid problems. Let's do that. Because there's a lot of women with thyroid problems. I have hypothyroidism. Let's see, where does that thyroid problem come from? Oh, thyroid. Conflict between the conscious and the subconscious. Means you're conscious, let's do the college, what they say, that the 12% conscious and 88% subconscious, okay, for your thoughts. You have a conflict between the two. I can't make a decision. Why is it I want to lose weight, but I just can't lose it, okay? So when you work with the subconscious mind, which traditional ways, again, do not ever work with the subconscious mind. They don't work with the 88% that controls your habits, your behaviors, everything that you are. CBT can't even reach that, okay? DBT doesn't, okay? So the thyroid is also lack of love for yourself. How many people, oh my gosh, all the Christians right now, I'm just going to say something right now. The greatest commandment is not to love your neighbor. The greatest commandment and first commandment is to love your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. The second is love yourself. Love yourself as you would your neighbor. Yeah, a lot of people don't love themselves. Have you seen what they do to themselves to destroy themselves? I'm just saying. It shows that they don't love themselves. The fears of self-expression. That's what talking about what happened to you. That's why your story is important. The deep sense of frustration and anxiety. Lack of discernment. Okay, my husband has discernment. He knows when to be quiet, and I don't. God, I wish I had his gift, but I just don't. I'm not a sugarcoating factory. I don't like to sugarcoat, and I don't like when people sugarcoat shit back to me. Stuff back to me. So we've got the third eye. That's right here. The pineal gland. And it looks just like a pine cone. And fluoride does block it off. That's what they used in World War II to dull and get the Jews to do what they wanted them to do in the termination camps. And then we've got the crown chakra, which is obviously at the top. So here's a question for you. For those of you that have made it this far in my video. When it comes to the crown chakra, if there was not a mind-body connection, why is it when a baby is coming out of the woman, because only women can have babies, why would they see a head coming out of the woman? Why do they call it crowning? Because there's an energetic link of this is your crown. This is where a crown sits on your head. Energetically, this is a crown. This is where you have all your knowledge. Like everything comes in like a vortex. Your thoughts that become things attract everything at the crown, and it goes right into your head, and it affects all your chakras. Why is that? Something to think about it, is it not? I'm just saying. Giving some things to think about. That's the reason why I did this videos, because I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the trauma, because a lot of people don't find or don't understand that they are connected to each other. And recently, as of yesterday, I realized that I was repeating a pattern from childhood. And I'm like, I can't do this. And I'm like, I looked at my son's eyes, because he looked at me with his Jeffrey eyes. And I'm like, oh my God, I caught the exact pattern that I needed to catch how many years later I caught that I was doing the exact same pattern behavior that I saw growing up. And so when I caught that, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. And that's a good thing that I caught it, because when you know yourself so much, you become aware of these different things. You're able to catch these patterns, which is huge, because you want to be able to catch these patterns. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It is, however, wrong if you don't catch them, because then you're living your life as a zombie. You don't live your life to the fullest. You think that you need more stuff, and you really don't. In order to find happiness, true happiness, because everybody's like, money doesn't buy happiness, which is another lie. Money buys happiness. My God, it buys happiness. Does it not? Do you have a house over your, do you have a roof over your head? You do? Do you own it, or the bank owns it? Well, most people, the bank owns it, but they say that it's, you're the owner. That's a false illusion of the left hemisphere of the brain. I won't get into that tonight, but most people, if you own a roof over your head, you've got a vehicle, you've got food in your belly, you've got a job, you get to go to a job, you get to wake up and go to a job, and you have a computer, you have a cell phone, you're able to access the outside world. I tell you right now, don't ever tell me that money doesn't buy happiness, because the hell if it doesn't. It just allowed you to be able to have a job, it allowed you to have a vehicle, allowed you to have a house, it allowed you to have all those things I just mentioned and more, and even toilet paper to wipe your butt. So money does buy happiness, because money buys choices. Money buys the ability to do more than what you can do once you have money. So for example, when I have money, I'm able to go out and get a massage, for example. So what does that massage do for me? Because I can't just sit here and be one of them people that just lay on the table to relax. No, that's not how I do it. But just say, for example, I go out there and I do that. Now I took money that I got from somebody else. I'm putting that back into the community, supporting another business. Am I not? When I am doing something like that, yeah, I am. I am supporting another business. I'm supporting another person in doing what it is that they do. Now, being poor, can I go and get a massage to support that business owner? No, I can't, and neither can you. So, again, tell me how being poor is a good thing. Tell me how not having money is a good thing. So, if you can't tell me those things, and people say, oh, health is wealth, you need your health more important. Health is more important than money. No, it's not. That's like asking a person to just and never breathe another breath of air ever again. Because what happens? You're going to die. You have to have both. If you have better health, you can have more money. If you've got more money, you can have better health. It's really, like I said, like asking a person, which is more important, oxygen or your lungs? If you don't got your lungs at work, you can't have oxygen. So don't ever ask a dumb question about, like, it's really a dumb question. When I think of all the dumb questions a person could ask, that's like the dumbest one a person could ever ask is, which is more important, your health or your money? You need both. Like I just said, that's like asking a person to not breathe oxygen and that you need your lungs. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Again, like I said, a lot of the times when I'm doing my lives and I seem like I'm making fun of somebody, which if you get butt hurt, I guess that's your problem. That means that you got to work on that issue. What I'm getting at is that a lot of this, I used to be the exact same way. Again, I repeat, I used to be the exact same way where I believe the doctors were God. I used to be in that mindset. It's a very dangerous mindset. Extremely dangerous to believe that your doctors are God. I used to be in that mindset. I used to be in the mindset that, money doesn't buy happiness. Again, that's a dangerous mindset. I used to be in a lot of those different things. And some of those things I still am. They just play into different areas because you need to work on them. So my whole point of what it is that I was getting at is that the psychology field does not study the mind-body connection because they don't understand it. Psychology, in fact, studied like the Sigmund Freud, like that type of psychology. They studied that. There's so many different people that I've had to study. They studied like the internal family systems. Okay, I know the family internal systems. I understand that there's different parts to us. Like there's the protector, there's the vigilant, there's all these different parts of us. Okay, I understand that. And the beauty is, I didn't have to go to a 4-year college or however long they make you do. I didn't have to do any of that. My diploma is equivalent to a psychology degree. And the reason why I'm so proud of myself for doing a hypnotherapy program at an accredited college for hypnotherapy, the reason why I'm so proud of myself is because I'm the only person within my family that has their diploma at from a college. Like the only one that has their diploma at a college. Only one. So am I proud of myself? Yes. Am I proud of myself after let's see, about 4 or 5 failed attempts at a college in person? Yeah, I am proud of myself because when I failed that many times before I found the college of hypnotherapy, yeah, I am proud of myself that I finally succeeded at something. And lo and behold, it was the one thing that I've always been interested in, which was psychology and why we do what we do and how we do what we do. Thank God I didn't go to school for psychology because I learned something so much more better that actually helps people. And that's what I want to do is help people. I don't take insurance, thank God, because there's a lot of therapists that I know. They're like, be thankful you don't take insurance. You don't want to deal with insurance. And you don't want to deal with half the people that's got to take insurance. You don't want to deal with them. And I'm like, I know. I'm so blessed that I don't have to deal with a lot of those people. I get to choose. um, there are people in this world you do got to watch out for. Like I said, it's because the way that they were brought up, it has to do with a lot of like the cultural background that they grew up in. It grew up with their mindset. It has to do with, like I said, mindset again is hypnosis. It has a lot to do with how they were when they brought up. What were they seeing? What were they smelling? What were they tasting, touching? What was around them at that time in growing up that affects who we are. So I hope this was helpful to people. And like I said, if you got to the end of this, great. And if not, that's okay too. I'll be able to use some of this for a couple of different reels now at least. So that's a plus. So go out there and make it a great day.